Previously on Emerald Comet.
We need to talk.
Hello, Oculus. Nice to see you finally showed up.
You knew?
Dude, you've been popping up at the end of a load of my reviews and talking about how you need to speak to the Green One personally. Do you seriously think I don't watch my own show?
If I agree to help you release the spirit inside the sword, you give me the sword itself.
You're kind of lacking in the horn department. How are you going to get it out?
Do not presume you're the only one who can use magic, unicorn.
As you're so keen to have it, you can.
We shall meet again in a week's time.
Ted? Give me the phone. Right, just to let you know, I'm very protective of this room. I'd rather that it stay not burned by the time today is over.
If danger rears its ugly head, I can't guarantee that.
Then I cannot guarantee you won't find a hole in your wall when you get home.
Deal.
So, is it really just you? You didn't bring any of the Royal Guard with you?
I thought you said you wanted help.
Fair enough. So, in that case, and this may be a little late in the game to be asking this, but, how good are you with dogs? Big dogs.
What are we talking here?
About as tall as Luna, give or take an inch. They look and talk like ordinary diamond dogs.
Seriously? Diamond dogs? You brought in the walking nuke dispenser for diamond dogs. Jeez, next you'll tell me you use a whole can of Raid for a single spider.
Okay, first of all, I'm pretty sure there's gotta be a mountain-sized spider somewhere, and if I find it, I shall take great pleasure in seeing you try to use a can of bug spray on it. Second, you haven't seen this kind of diamond dog before. Trust me on this one. Despite my dexterity and great wit, I don't trust my swordsmanship to fight something like this.
I don't trust your swordsmanship at all, Mr. Humblebrag. So, when's he supposed to get here?
I don't know, 10, maybe 15 minutes?
Oddly specific?
Yeah, it's the same amount of time it takes to do a review around here, and honestly, most of the time all the weird stuff happens at the end of all my reviews.
So, you're saying there's a high chance he won't show up unless we review something?
There is a distinct possibility.
I'm bodyguarding a green Linkara. My career's skyrocketing.
I heard that, Sousa. Anyway, is there some fanfic you'd care to indulge in while we wait?
Well, sure. There's an oldie fanfic I like going back to from time to time. Arrow 18 Mission Logs, Lone Ranger.
Oh, sorry about that. That's my sci-fi nerd detector. What? It comes in handy. But, yeah, I've read it. So, for the viewing pleasure of all of you at home, this is Arrow 18 Mission Logs, Lone Ranger. This story was written by a chap named Admiral Tigerclaw, and if I had a list of awesome author names, he would most likely place first. Anyway, the story takes place 200 years in the future after scientists discover a planet in the far reaches of space. Only difference being that instead of the planet revolving around the sun revolves around this planet. So an astronaut is sent out on a lone mission to investigate why this is happening. And it just so happens that the world he comes across is Equestria.
This was a really interesting execution. Despite being set pre-Season 3, it's completely compatible with present lore, mainly because it didn't make any use of popular headcanons at the time. Nothing is assumed here. In the show, the sun technically does revolve around the Earth. Any modern scientific mind would find a phenomenon interesting and would love to investigate it. This is a brilliant setup.
And there's a good amount of imaginative ideas in this story. For example, despite the fact that on the show, all the ponies speak fluent English, when our main character first starts a conversation with a pony, they don't even speak the same language, so they need to figure out ways around that in order to communicate. Part of the fun of this story is watching that language barrier shrink. Since the story is told via multiple text logs over a period of 6 months, it gives you a pretty good sense of how long the characters have been around each other to make that achievable.
Another great part of the story is the relationship between the astronaut and Twilight. Twilight, ever inquisitive, is incredibly excited to learn about a new culture and new technologies. Her passion to learn and understand allows her to understand Earth's culture and language at an expedited pace, but also gets her addicted to the computer's database, to a point where the astronaut had to tase her in order to get her to slow down. Twilight in the story does seem to cross a few boundaries. While this manic behavior has been shown at points in the show, it can be a little off-putting, especially when she steals the extra spacesuit and coerces the astronaut into letting her and Rainbow Dash fly in space.
Yeah, I can imagine that letting two untrained aliens into a vessel that requires months of preparation to go up in and needs every little detail of its mechanics to be perfectly precise might leave a few people feeling a little worried. And, spoiler alert, no surprise, it goes about as well as expected. For one of them, at least.
Rainbow Dash is claustrophobic. Who knew?
But before all that, she also has her own time to get involved in the swing of things. When she finds out that the spaceship can go fast, she becomes really enthusiastic about going in it, and she makes I'm gonna be nice and call it a valiant attempt at trying to learn to speak the same language as the humans, but quickly loses interest. There's a few other characters who get involved too. Pinkie Pie, who introduces the astronaut to several parties and probably makes him gain an extra 10 pounds from all her baking, and the princesses also pop up here and there. And they're as eager as Twilight is to find out about this totally new civilization from across the stars. All of this helps play to a big strength of the fic, the fact that it's a very interesting look at what first contact with alien life might look like.
The astronaut's character is also very interesting. He's generic enough to allow us to be able to slip into his shoes, but unique enough so that he's not a blank slate. He's responsible and cautious, but he's not invincible. He's understanding and calculating, but he also has a patience threshold and gets flustered. His eureka moments are a lot of fun, like when he's finally able to translate Applejack's name, or when he has a mental breakdown after seeing Celestia raise the sun.
I can still picture the does not compute look on his face. Good times.
There are a few scientific explanations thrown in to help with the realism aspect of the story, like having to check for microbes in the environment, listening to his analyses of the planet's biology, and the occasional technobabble regarding his starship.
And there actually lies my only real complaint with this fic. The technical jargon about how the ship works, and how Thruster A needs to be hooked up to support Beam Alpha to power up the flux capacitor to initiate the warp drive, didn't really hold my attention. I don't really have much of an interest in how space organizations are run or how spaceships work, which I know might sound a little daft because spaceships, but it kind of reminded me a lot of the Hunt for Red October. The technobabble, at least for me, got quite confusing at times. Then again, it also might have to do with the fact that I'm more of a fantasy guy than a sci-fi guy.
So that's Arrow 18 mission logs. It was written from a clear scientific perspective, but really, anyone can pick this up and enjoy it. It really captures not only the artistic imagination, but the scientific one as well. All the characters are well understood, and the OCs are comfortable, and the setup gives it such a unique yet familiar feel. There's a reason I keep coming back to this one. It's really that dang good.
Agreed. Despite the fact that this isn't really a genre I'm too familiar with, I actually really enjoyed this one. It's got great creativity, it can be funny, whimsical, and even tense, and it manages to give its readers an intriguing and in-depth look at how contact with an alien species might go down. Also the audio logs. Just all of them. No, really, that's all I need to say. The last audio recording makes this story worthy of a read alone. Just trust me on this one.
Am I to assume you've finished then?
We're under attack!
I'm sorry, what part of I'd rather have my house not burned did you not understand?
Rather implies can live without.
Note to self, next time hire Finn the pony.
Always so colorful, aren't you? But I commend you for taking precautions. And you are?
I'm the help, no one important.
Of course not. As you've probably guessed, I too did not come alone.
The big black dog has red eyes. Please let this happen.
This place burns, hole in your wall. Anyway, anything else I should know before we start this?
No. Now do you have the sword?
Wait, sword? What sword?
It's a long story that involves psychological damage and murder. That sword has an alicorn spirit inside of it. We're gonna get it out.
That's the sort of thing you should tell me before we actually deal with the dog mafia here.
You mean you didn't inform your ally why he was here?
My help is on a strictly need-to-know basis. Careful now, that floor was expensive. Shutting up.
I think any information that helps me protect you from death is pretty neat to know. Anything else critically important you felt like not telling me?
Well, there was this one time with a honeycomb and a jackass.
I'm sorry, Mr. Oh my gosh, he didn't even tell me his name. Diamond Dog, I know this is incredibly unprofessional, but may I hear all of this first?
This ritual takes some time to prepare. Do as you please.
Fine. Grab a cushion, this'll take a while. And if it wasn't for that sword, which, like I said, contains the soul of an alicorn, I'd pretty much be dead right now.
Freaking heck! I've actually died and your life is more screwed up than mine.
Honestly, I'm not convinced it's gonna get any more normal anytime soon.
Alright, thank you for being patient. I can appreciate that in a foe.
Don't misunderstand. I'm not here to cause either of you bodily harm. Now then, which one of you wants to give blood?
Take him! It won't show on his coat!
It too.
Not like that. Unless you want Amicidia's spirit to shamelessly wander in limbo, it needs to be tied to an anchor. And since inanimate objects are clearly out of the question, that means using a living body as the host. Now, unless you wish to remove another pony's soul and have occupy the empty shell, our best method would be to create a new body from scratch. That requires DNA, i.e. blood.
Why don't you just do it then?
Do you want her to be a diamond dog?
I think that's her decision.
Oh, okay then, Mr. Brand. Would you like to ask the inanimate object what it wants to be when it grows up?
Well, silence is consent. I vote the dog.
Please tell me the Green One told you I'm here to help him.
I'm not stupid. If he truly believed you were here to help him, then why would he need to hire a bodyguard? And for that matter, why did you decide to come with two flunkies if you've got our best interests oh so in mind?
The answer the same for both questions. Caution. I could rip out his throat in seconds if I wanted to, but if I did that, the sword would cut me down. We've reached an agreement where we both benefit without bloodshed, but I'd be an idiot if I did not expect him to bring protection. And since it's entirely possible the extra numbers might encourage you to try to kill me upon arrival, I brought my own protection.
So, you're saying that if we were to come to blows, the sword would be on our side?
Firebrand, I know what you're thinking, and while under normal circumstances I would condone the use of violence, I don't feel like having my trachea ripped out today.
And the ritual has already begun. If you try to interrupt it or remove the sword now, there's no telling what could happen.
Frickin' railroad me, why don't you? Fine, I volunteer as tribute.
How noble of you.
Bodyguard, remember? Ouch. Solar flare!
Dude, what the hell?
Ugh, I can barely teleport 50 feet. I am really out of shape.
Never mind your personal safety. What the hell did you do that for?
No talk time, run now!
No, actually, talk time now. First of all, ow, 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 hair, hair, hair! God. Hey, wait a sec. Why aren't they following us?
What? They have to be! He said he wanted the sword, right? Why would he let us go if he wanted... Oh... He never really wanted the sword. Emerald, I think we've been royally duped.
Oh, balls.
Puppies!
Okay, who are you two?
Good kick.
Fuck you.
Love you too, dearie.
We are not having a moment.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, we did just technically have a kid together.
I swear to Celestia, if you say one word about this to anyone, I'll...
That voice. Wait, I know you.
Yeah, I think you do. Emerald Comet. You kinda saved my life a while ago.
Yeah, I remember that. With that crazy guy. You were hurting. You needed my help.
And may I just say, you did a number on him. So, now that you're here, I just wanted to say, thank you. If it hadn't been for you, I'd be long dead.
I just did what I could. It wasn't them. Who's the weird-looking one?
Lady?
What in Tartarus?
It's okay, you'll get used to it after a while.
Hi, I'm Firebrand, and I'm the one not being totally rude right now.
Sorry. Well, I guess you can call me Amicidia Jr. Or just Amicidia, since apparently my mother is dead.
Wait, how did you know that?
I could just feel it when she died.
Yeah, I hate to interrupt, but I feel the need to ask, what's the plan now?
Honestly, I didn't really think the next part through all the way.
Why am I not surprised?
Hey, you may have only been alive for about a minute or so, but don't think that means you can sass me, young lady.
Emerald, she has a point.
Oh yes, of course you'd have to side with your daughter.
She's not my daughter.
Barely even begun to learn about the world and you disown her? Have you no heart?
Emerald, stop with the snark and be serious for 1 second. We engaged with strangely intelligent diamond dogs in a dark ritual to give life to an alicorn spirit, and you have no idea why you did so?
The plan was to get Amicidia out of the sword. I told you that much. I just needed someone there in case things got hairy, and they didn't.
Then what? To what end?
They take the sword and go on their merry way back to Diamond Dog Land. I don't know.
Ugh, your lack of any concept of forward thinking has been literally painful.
Oh, well, excuse me, Mr. Army Man. Far be it from me to not possess the tactical brilliance of Alexander Hamilton over here, but I didn't really feel like questioning the big scary wolf who can levitate stuff.
Say what?
What?
Oh, no, right, I'm sorry. Mr. Marine Man.
No, after that.
The big scary wolf who can levitate stuff?
Emerald, levitation is something only unicorns can do.
Do you seriously think I don't watch my own show? Do you seriously think I don't watch my own show? Do you seriously think I don't